introduce yourself? We can just do a round warm of introductions.
Sure. Thanks. I'm sorry for not being able to turn on my camera. I'm having technological troubles. But thanks, everyone, for being here. My name is Gretel Nevares, and I am the double degree coordinator at CETYS University. And sorry. And I am the partner lead for CETYS and CDU. So being here and being able to um, expect expect the best for our students from people that can give them wonderful advice, and it's really fantastic. Professor Angela Wells has been an amazing professor. I'm sure the takeouts that our students will have will be great. And now being able, our students being able to share their projects and being able to receive feedback from all these persons here, it's amazing and it's wonderful, and I'm sure that it will be a great experience for them. So thanks everyone for being here.
Russell, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay. My name is Russell Frisbee. I am the president of a consulting firm focusing on providing strategic advice and counsel in the areas of energy, telecom, and tech. I'm a lawyer by training, again, in the energy, telecom, and tech area. Over the years, I've been in government as chairman of the Maryland Public Service Commission, doing a pretty active time. I've also been the president of a national telecommunications industry association, and obviously partner in several major law firms. The last law firm I was in, Stinson LLC, I was co-chair of both the state utility regulatory group and the telecom group. Also, over the years, I've been on, Russell 1000 company, Paytech Communications. Until it was acquired, it was the country's largest competitive local exchange carrier, as well as the board of Pepco, which is an S&P 500, which was acquired by Exelon. So I'm really anxious to hear this. And David and I have been talking, and I know he's got an exciting product or company.
Okay, thank you. And Jerome?
Hello, everybody. Name's Jerome Dishman, based in Chicago. I'm a technology consultant and alumni of TechStars, currently in collaboration with David, helping him build out Diode. I've founded two companies. The latest one is a software company in relation to in the fintech space doing AI and cybersecurity.
Let's see. And David.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm very grateful to be here. I am David N. Jones, the CEO and founder of Lumena Energy, a clean technology company based here in Chicago. I'm very anxious to see what our students have created for us today. I've also prepared a small speech in Spanish, so if that's okay, I'll share that as well. Buenas tardes a todos. Es un honor estar aquí virtual con ustedes en CETYS. Quiero dar una cálida bienvenida a los estudiantes que hoy comienzan este emocionante desafío y extender mi más sincero agradecimiento al equipo académico y administrativo de CETYS por brindarnos esta oportunidad. Estamos aquí para construir algo grande, la base de la más reciente oferta de servicios de Lumena Energy. Su talento, creatividad y visión serán clave para dar forma a una solución innovadora que no solo impulsará el futuro de la energía, sino que también abrirá nuevas oportunidades en el mundo de la inteligencia artificial y de la sostenibilidad. Espero que esta experiencia no solo les brinde nuevos conocimientos, sino que también los inspire a ser parte del cambio. Gracias por su entusiasmo y compromiso. Juntos haremos historia. Bienvenidos.
Thank you, David. And I want to also introduce myself and introduce my students. My name is Professor Angela Wells. I'm with CityU. I am teaching the International Management course. This week, well, for the last 2 weeks, the students have actually worked on building a micro data center for Lumina Energy. This is a live project. These students have worked hard for the past weeks, last 2 days, and so we're going to present. We have the business team and the industrial engineers that's also going to do the presentation today. So we're going to start off with the business team, and so I'm going to turn it over to you. Can everyone see the presentation on the screen?
I'm able to see it.
Great, thank you.
I can see it now.
Yes, I can see it.
Professor, are you muted? No. If you mute this one and we unmute this one, it might be easier. All right. So today we bring you Dial, the brain inbox. Yeah. So were they able to hear any of the beginning, or do we just restart?
Just keep going.
All right. So brain inbox. For a couple of years now, I have been hearing several things about swarm intelligence as a the main one being in the car industry. People want to implement it in electric cars so that people are safer, and it's generally better. However, driving cars is fun, and I see better applications for this type of swarm technology. Focus on with Dial is the energy industry and redefining what it means to have an individual AI help out with managing different energy tasks as well as helping with individual business management.
Lumena. As we all know, this is an energy company that focuses on renewable energies like solar and wind power to distribute and also manage effectively green energy. By implementing the diode, this can help to many people to enter this new world of AI range in all its extents.
So we've been talking about diode and how it's an AI swarm-based intelligence that helps out, but what are the specs in reality? So diode consists of a 40-foot by 8 feet long container that is approximately 320 square feet wide. It has servers inside as well as a cooling system. Our spec has a cooling system inside that is a liquid-based cooling system. This means that not only is it more efficient in regulating heat, but in my opinion is also better. And it also has lower consumption of power, which is a good thing in our case, as we are one of the lowest consuming power in this specific market. We have a kilowatt range that is around 150 to 200, which is pretty good on average. And yeah, overall the specs are really great, but our main focus is the conservation of energy, maintaining this relatively small database that allows us to enrich a customer's experience when it comes to using software. Yeah, this type of style and swarm intelligence when it comes to business management also helps in decentralizing certain aspects of the business. It helps us with managing individual aspects as well as gaining more flexibility when it comes to certain tasks.
Now, for what do we offer? This was a little bit of a complicated task, meaning that we are not like a physical product, but we decided to go more for a way that ChatGPT and this AI intelligence have gone, which are subscriptions. We wanted to implement subscriptions, maybe monthly or yearly, for companies to use our services in a data manner. And also, we got the idea of using cloud computer for this type of jobs. And well, yeah, I think that was our main ideas for this project, for monetization. Oh, yeah, that was it. Also, what are our markets? As our CEO David said, our headquarters are in Chicago. So it really made sense for us to start from there. Also because Chicago is a city that is very technologically advanced and has the infrastructure for our product to really connect with people and help them on their daily basis. And well, from then we will try as a like a test, yeah, like a test to see if it works in there, and from then we can expand to other cities, to other countries, and etc.
In short, we consume way less power than everybody else. The averages of everybody else happen to be around 100 to 200 or 50 or 300 at the top regions of kilowatt consumption. And the other aspects, this comes from like things like Huawei and Vertec, which are other companies that specialize in this type of things, but we consume much less power than they do. We are, granted, a bit bigger, but we also require less maintenance. We are a company that specializes in giving the product as a whole, and whereas these other companies might require an on-grid to actually work or work properly, Huawei has some options that go off-grid as well, but they aren't that reliable compared to ours due to the system we have. We have a system that is based on solar panels and lithium-ion batteries that is managed by the Parsec system, which allows us to have more efficient regulation of power, especially when it comes to the more AI-intensive aspects of a business.
Okay, for from financial projections, we plan to, well, it's very difficult to measure a business success because it usually is, let's say, more than a year to finally take well, earnings from it. So we decided to wait between 2 or 3 years to see and make a break-even point to see how our company is doing, if we are lacking something, and just improving everything to be as perfect as it can be. And if everything goes as planned, we plan to recover our investment from 2 years of our start. And in post 5 years of it, we plan to earn approximately more than $5 million a year.
So what is our ask? The initial investment for one of these nodes is approximately 1.7 million. It ranges between 1.2 and 1.9 for our spec sheet, which is pretty different. It includes server racks in between, power stations inside, as well as cooling containers on the outside. It's expensive, but in my opinion, it's a worth it ask. It's basically, yeah, it does require some maintenance, but once after this investment is made, we'll most likely recoup our costs in the first year. Second year, we'll probably make some extra, and by the third year, we plan on, as my partner already said, expanding and actually gaining some money, going from 3 to 4 to 5. So yeah, that's our presentation, and if anybody has any questions, you're welcome to ask.
Okay, now it's time to bring in the engineers.
David has a question.
David.
Guys, that was fantastic. Well done. Well researched. It looks like you put a lot of effort into understanding this market. And granted, this is a brand new opportunity, so there's not a ton of use cases that are available to kind of compare against, but it looks like from our research compared to yours, you guys did pretty much the same thing. So I'm very grateful of this turnout. And in the near future, I would love to extend an opportunity for you all to work on a physical version once we actually go live. When everyone's finished, I'll have some questions for the entire group, but I know that we're kind of stretched for time, so I'm saving them till the end.
Okay.
So, yes. So as the engineering team, we're going to present our micro data center project. So first of all, we're going to say what do we select as our location criteria, starting by the proximity to industrial zones and network infrastructure. As deploying this micro data center near industrial zone with strong network infrastructure ensures low latency AI processing, enhancing automation, efficiency, and data security. So as our main point on choosing a certain location, we decided something that was near to industrial zones and something that can really work and has specialized areas or zones that can be used in this type of projects. Also, the access to renewable energy sources, given the project's reliance on 150 kilowatts to 200 kilowatts all over power source, selected location with high solar irradiance is crucial to ensure efficient energy generation. So, as the main point of this project is the solar power, we think that it is important to have access to renewable energy sources. Also, the risk of natural disasters. So we decided to use the criteria for these natural disasters as it can be very harmful for these type of projects to be near a disaster zone. Another point for these criteria is the climate and environmental conditions. So as I mentioned before, natural disasters can be very harmful for this project. But on the other side, having our climate and environmental conditions in our favor can be very beneficial, as having moderate temperatures and low humidity can reduce cooling requirements, enhancing energy efficiency and equipment longevity. Finally, regulatory environment and incentives. So laws, projects, streamlined permitting processes, all these and really be support for these kind of projects, where maybe not being so limited by government or any laws or any other projects going on, can be also beneficial for choosing any location. So, as the other team already mentioned, some of the potential deployment locations, our main location is going to be Chicago, Illinois. As a major connectivity hub with extensive fiber optic networks, strong industrial presence, and access to renewable energy sources like wind and power. We decided that this was the perfect location for this project and develop it at the very beginning. Also, we have another options, it could be Phoenix, Dallas-Fort Worth in Texas, or Portland, Oregon. As we think all of these really fit the criteria that we chose and would be a really good candidate for doing this, choosing these as the locations.
Here we have a container layout. Here we have the server racks, the network station, the cooling stations, and the power equipment. This is designed as to ensure maximum available space and reduce travel between places, and all things are placed so it is more efficient and less trips are required. The efficiency plan made for our containers will be separated into 3 strategies. First, the cooling strategy, then the layout optimization strategy, and then the power source for the load management. For cooling strategy, we have 3 main points we would like to implement, or we could implement, which is the liquid cooling system, the heat air side transition to reduce the vertical cooling, and also the heat recovery to repurpose the use of this heat. For the layout optimization strategy, we have used modular data centers, the high density servers to maximize the compute power, the optimization of cabling and the networking. And for the last one will be the power source and the load management, which would be the use of renewable energy with solar farms, hybrid edge cloud orchestrating, which is a technical model for to reduce this energy consumption and implement AI-driven energy management system to optimize power flow of these servers.
Okay, as our core revenue streams, we have 3. The first one is AI computing as a service. This provides high-performance AI processing on a subscription or pay-per-use basis for sectors like healthcare, banking, and autonomous vehicles. Then we have edge computing for IoT devices. This reduces the reliance on centralized data centers by processing data locally and in smart cities and industries. This improves latency. And finally, we have energy trading. And this uses solar farms and battery storage to sell excess energy back to the grid or nearby companies, promoting sustainability and generating additional income.
All right, now talking costs, we have a category that has contains 6 cost estimates. First, we have the hardware, which includes the AI server racks and the networking equipment. That's going to be from 400 to 600,000 US dollars. Then following that, the cooling systems, which include the liquid coolers, the air economization, and the heat recovery, which is going to cost us from 100 to 200,000 dollars. Then we have the energy setup, which includes the solar farm, which as my partner mentioned, it was from 150 to 200 kilowatts. Then we have the battery storage and the backup generators. That's going to be from 300 to 500,000 dollars. We also have the container conversion, which is the installation, the security, the fire suppression, and the power distribution. That's going to be from 150 to 250,000 dollars. Then we have the deployment and transport, which is the logistics and the site preparation, and we also include the installation over there, which will be $50,000 to $100,000. And finally, We have the staffing and the support, which is only the estimate for the first year, for the pay of the engineers, the maintenance and the security, which will be from $200,000 to $300,000. And well, it comes up to a total cost, as my business partner mentioned, to 1.2 to $1.95 million.
As for a bit of the market research we did, first we started with Pearson, which is a company that has a plant here in Kentucky. Some of the strengths in our research that we noticed is that it offers a modular centralized solution that scales easily for this edge computing or smaller facilities. They also have a global presence and have 24/7 customer support in many regions, which makes a lot of clients prefer them. And they are also recognized for power and cooling innovations, and these reduce operation costs. They also have a couple of weaknesses. First of all, that they are primarily designed for a rapid enterprise expansion, and that their renewable integration is possible, but not a core design focus. They also have a system design that relies very heavily on a proprietary component, which may limit user customization. Another one of the companies that we studied is Huawei. Some of their strengths are that they have a high density computing support and robust engineering. They also have a lot of features that integrate management in their platform with real-time monitoring, which really helps with the control of these facilities. They also emphasize energy efficiency and compact their footprints, which can reduce their total cost of ownership. Some of their weaknesses include that they have a lot of regional restrictions with certain markets, and this affects their global deployment. And as for their off-grid functionality, it is not as developed or specialized in micro data center solutions. Finally, they required a specialized Huawei certified professionals for their advanced support. And that is all for us. I don't know if there's any questions. Feel free to ask.
Outstanding, outstanding. You guys should give yourselves a round of applause. That was very well done. So I would say, let's start from the very beginning. One of my first questions was, how did you all come up with the pricing estimate for the hardware? If you all are speaking, I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Yeah. Well, for the cost, we came up to this, the estimated cost from research on the market for the similar type of, say, the AI server racks or the liquid cooling systems. We looked around the internet for the cost of the manufacturers and how they would sell them to, say, in bulk to a company, and then we grab those prices from not just one provider but different distributors, and we came up with an average, and that's why we put the price points like from 100K to 200K. So there's like an area to work in between for the prices.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is a question for the industrial designers. What were the biggest challenges that you faced in planning the design of the shipping container, and how did you address them to maximize operational efficiency?
I'm gonna answer the question. We mainly thought of the distribution of the main container, what the main elements we needed. Of course, we're working with mechanical facility. So, of course, for example, we need these cooling strategy to keep everything under a certain temperature. Also, the cigarettes, we just thought of how well distributed could everything be. It was kind of hard to imagine because I think most of us are either industrial engineers or designers, and imagining as this type of technology that is very well advanced and very new even to us, it was kind of hard. So we did some research and what we took the elements of the things we already knew and tried to come up with an idea of what could help. For example, we have the cooling systems, the server racks, the network station, which is the center of everything. So we have everything under control and well located. I think that I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. One thing I will note is we're going to be using a relatively, well, it is used, but it's not necessarily used in this structure. If you all are familiar with something called dielectric fluid, we'll be using dielectric fluid predominantly to cool the NPU server racks because this allows us to not have to use as much cooling power, as well as to be able to fit more of the racks together more closely, which will mitigate the need for having like an expansive amount of the racks outs or creating more of the containers, I should say, on campus. But I like the design. I think it's definitely nominal. Um, but in terms of the overall development, it looks like it's pretty similar to what we've put together. So that's very good. Um, How did you all decide on the locations? I saw that you all chose Chicago, Arizona. I think there were Portland and maybe one other one. How did you guys decide on that?
Yes, so based on the criteria mentioned in the beginning, that was like industrial zones and places mostly where the solar energy could be easily obtained. So we decided Chicago mainly because of the industrial zone and how it works with these kind of projects. We researched and we looked that it could be like the best fit for it. Also, Portland, Oregon, I think it's one of the probably the second option we decided will be the best, as it has the renewable energy sources as the best criteria to fit it. So maybe Portland, as in renewable energy, it will be the best, but Chicago in the industrial criteria would be the best fit.
Yeah, David, if you don't mind, I've got a quick question.
Yes, sir, please.
As I recall, with regard to the costs, I thought I heard that you were going to recover your costs in year one and go profitable in year two. That's pretty aggressive. Have you done a best case, worst case scenario on that?
Excuse me, I couldn't really hear the question. Could you please repeat it?
Okay. As I understand it, I thought I heard that you were going to recover your costs in year one and then become profitable in year two. That's fairly aggressive. Have you done a best case or worst case study?
So while looking into this, we found that a couple of things. Solar farmers usually recoup their total cost within a 4-year basis, at least locally in Mexicali, where we're from. So we kind of based ourselves on that. Then we looked into Chicago, which produced about the same amount. And that eventually led us to say, okay, so by year 4, we'll be fine if we just focus on the solar panel.
Okay.
Now, we also added the AI as well as the solar management software that should help recoup more of the cost. This, in addition to selling extra power back to the city, would help us. But as a success or failure, we mostly just tried to predict based on what we could figure out. We couldn't do an exact estimate, and we found that some have made about 2 million, but we were like, no, that's a bit too much. We just want to break even. The goal is to break even by the first or second year.
Okay.
And beyond that, we'll just keep increasing profits based on either server or the services we provide.
I want to join David. It's a great presentation, very impressive. Thank you.
Thank you.
I did notice that there was not much in terms of regulatory considerations. Did you all do a feasibility study on some of the hurdles that we would have to overcome there?
It appears that we kind of based ourselves on what we generally knew. I thought that we could at least sell the product or provide some form of service, but to be honest with you, no, we couldn't find feasibility.
Mhm.
How would you go about finding? Because obviously you don't have to be the people who get the answers. You have to figure out, know people who can give you the answers. How would you go about getting the answer?
Sorry, my apologies. I'm thinking in Spanish right now, mistranslation. We didn't really check for those.
No, my question was, how would you go about finding the answer?
Okay. So we'll check into the local laws and legislature from the city of Chicago, as well as the national regulations for energy in the U.S.
Thanks.
I think, granted, in the amount of time that you all spent on this was a very well presented document, as well as not necessarily knowing the market as well as we do. You all performed very well, and I'm very grateful for the amount of effort that you put into this. And to reiterate, I would love to extend the opportunity to both of you to help participate in our growth and expansion, as well as once the time does come to visit us and work directly with Diode to help build out from both the industrial and business standpoint. So in the near future, we will be in touch. I know that we're running out of time, so I will leave the rest of my questions for a later date. But once again, thank you very much, and I
Here, here.
applaud each and every one.
Here, 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 here.
Thank you, David, also for the opportunity to allow students to work on this project. So we are very grateful for working with you, and also our guests.
Wow, there's a lot of people there. I didn't realize there were so many.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, any comments or questions before we get into? Okay. Well, thank you so much, and
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, team, and thank you, Professor Wells.
Right.
thank you. Bye.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Let's start with the
Otra presentación, güey.